Cadence may go, cadence may come, but the revolution has come to stay. That revolution, sometimes we tend to think it's all about what happened on June 4, the uprising that happened on June 4. But the revolution is far more than that. That revolution is exactly what this party started from 1992. Bringing this country together. And anytime you watch this beautiful logo, this beautiful symbol for our party, it tells you about bringing a nation together. North, south, east, and west, united in one. With this beautiful bird, showing our capacity to see the vision, to see the big picture for our nation, and to be able to lead this nation towards the destiny the founding fathers imagined for her. And that is what this party is about. This party started as a party that had a united nation behind it. In the first election in 1992, we won 9 out of 10 regions in Ghana. In the second election, we won 9 out of 10 regions in Ghana. Why? Because we were seen as a party that totally united this country. It was the means by which the transformation of our country can happen. I will say over time, there has been attrition. And that attrition has happened because we've had opponents who have decided to turn this whole business into some tribal war. That's what is happening. Some tribal war. But in our party, it's always been a party that brought together everyone. Regardless of where you come from, we consider you as true sons and daughters of the land.
Bonsem. That's right.
That's why we started with a founder that came from the Volta region. And then came up with the next leader that came from the Greater Accra family. And the next leader that came, let's say, representing the Northern family. It tells you that we embrace everybody. As opposed to our friends, that if you don't come from this, you must come from this. It's the same. We are much broader. And that is our heritage. And that is what we must continue to fight for. Open our party to embrace everyone. Not to exclude anybody. Let everybody feel at home. And that's why in power, you see us do exactly the same thing. Develop this nation across the length and breadth. And I pray that we continue on that endeavor. Let us not go down the path our opponent want, which is simply to destroy this country and make it a tribal nation. But we must, as a party, continue to fight for the unity of our country.
Hey, Yazoo. That's right.
The battle ahead is a tough battle.
It's not a joke, man.
Anybody who tells you it's an easy battle, the person is underrated. It's a very tough battle. It's a tough battle because even though everything shows that our opponents have totally failed, we are dealing with a group that will do anything for power. Anything for power. Anything for power they will do. So therefore, we must be prepared for the worst. That is why, right from the very top, all the way to the last person in our branches, we must build a core of people who are dedicated, who understand that there is a need to fight the battle, not only for the sake of the NDC, but for the very soul of our country.
Woo! Woo!
NPP is going to do anything, throw money at anybody. Already they have literally destroyed all the key institutions. They've done what you call a weaponization of the institutions of our country. The least said about our Supreme Court, the better. The least said about Electoral Commission, the better. So it tells you the forces are really marshaled against us. But for the sake of Ghana, for the sake of Kwame Nkrumah, for the sake of Jerry Rawlings, for the sake of Atameos, and for the sake of all the ancestors of our land, light will shine again.
Woo!
So we want to thank you and ask you to continue working with us. You represent a body that we can work with to get great ideas for our nation. Scattered all over, you are able to leverage all the experience you have in the different parts of Europe. We happen to have also, I think, one or two who also come from the US. So basically leveraging all these experiences, all the networks, all the opportunities, all the know-how. Because we are going to be needing that desperately come 2025 going forward. Networks, opportunities, ideas, in order to be able to unleash the creativity of our people. Because as opposed to the past, where we could easily borrow large money in order to be able to transform and develop our country, we are handicapped. Then, from 2025 upward to about 2027, we're going to have very little room even for borrowing. So it therefore means some capacity for creativity, some solutions, and we are going to be needing you in order to do so. I'm not going to speak much longer because the keynote speaker is here. But just to tell you that we thank you, we appreciate all that you're doing. After a sing-off, hopefully, we'll win. The real journey begins. Because from the time I've become General Secretary to now, it's been one administrative issue after the other. We've not really even started the real, what I love the most, which is sitting down for strategy, for thinking, for long-term planning. And so nothing has really begun this year. So we look forward, when that moment comes, you in the diaspora, we're going to be needing you a lot, because that is the area where your strategy, your ideas, and leverages, and so on are going to happen. So thank you once again. And
Hey, Yesu!
Thank you very much, sir. At this moment, I'm more motivated to start the song again. Revo, Revo, can you just Revo, oh Revo, has a long way to go, but has come to stay. Once again, Revo, Revo, Revolution has a long way to go, but has come to stay. Thank you very much. I think one thing I take from his message was, I had a call from one guy from Ashanti region. He called me and said, "Daniel, go for no more Yazao." I'm saying, "Go for me." Also, a good friend go for him. Mrs. Sir, I think, one district, one factory, who will be your district? Was it there be now where? Was it there be? No, so you're trying to Mubarak on the stream. You're saying 1 village, 1 town when you're there. Mubarak, now down made out there. Was it there be or I say Bulano? Okay, they're trying another places also. Eastern region, one. I don't know how they be only here. Okay, planting for food and jobs. I don't see a bread. I am about to say, there be you know, big minister say, but they are about to you see, you can lie your way to power, but the evidence, you know,
will expose you.
Honorable Felix Ogosukwati, I don't envy you. Just as the secretary doesn't envy you. So at this point, I don't want to be in your shoes. Kindly join me here, please. Because you'll be the best person to introduce your boss than me. Just to introduce your boss to Amsterdam and European chapter for the NDC. Kindly.
Well, thank you very much, MC. Well, I have a rather unusual task of introducing a man who is very well known to everyone. But it is important to recognize the fact that we are at a crossroads as a country, and therefore there is a need for some salvation. And this salvation requires the most experienced hand, the most competent hand, a hand that is packed with strength and the requisite energy, a hand that can lead in a manner that ensures that the salvation is achieved. And after a lengthy restructuring process within the party and various elections, various branches, the rank and file of the NDC decided that they needed.
Hello, how are you?
To put
please, we are now on live in His Excellency, the flag bearer is almost coming to the podium. So I wouldn't be taking your calls at the moment, please. Can you cut off your video, please? Thank you.
Battle for the very soul of our country. So the Lord, and he has already done work to ensure that we secure resounding victory come 2024. So his presence here is one more manifestation of his commitment to ensuring that the party is organized at all levels to stand us in good stead to secure the victory that we all desire. So I have the unique pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, of introducing to you the incoming President of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani.
It's coming again.
The victory of NDC is coming again.
Whoa.
We had a lot of revolutionary songs for those of us who were kids. And somehow, Revo has emerged again and has become very popular, especially with the young people. But there were other songs, and one of them I remember is Aluta. I don't know the kid that's here. It was Hey Aluta, Hey Aluta, Hey Aluta, continua alla vita. Hey Aluta, continua, Aluta,
Continua.
Hey
Aluta, continua.
Continua. Okay, there are many kids here.
Thank you.
There's one that said, Hey Aluta, free the mind, free the mind. Free the mind. I mean, these songs were very inspiring, you know. And so we shouldn't resurrect only Rebel, we should resurrect all the other songs that used to lift our spirits and make us do the kinds of things that we did.
The wise leader.
Thank you very much.
Who are
General Secretary, Honorable Fifi Kwete, our Director of International Relations, the Honorable Alex Segbefia, Chairpersons of our various NDC EU chapters, comrades, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and let me first thank all of you, both the chapter and branch executives and members from our various EU countries, for making the sacrifice and time to gather here in Amsterdam for 3 days to discuss the future of our party, the NDC, and how we can contribute towards an emphatic victory in December 2024. We have rescheduled this conference twice because of other competing events, including the just ended May 13th presidential primaries of our party. I appreciate your patience with me, especially because of your determination that I must be personally present before you hold this gathering. We're close again to rescheduling this session once more because of the impending Asim North by-election. But it is good that we decided to come and push ahead with this event, as this is also a significant gathering for strategizing towards victory in the polls of 2024. Comrades, I bring you greetings from your compatriots in Ghana, whom I had the privilege yet again to visit and interact with across all the 276 constituencies during the just ended primaries. That exercise has contributed to reinvigorating our executives and members at the grassroots. It allowed us to take our message to them and the people in their constituencies, reminding them that the National Democratic Congress remains the political party to trust when it comes to the total development and welfare of the citizens of Ghana. It is therefore our duty to rededicate ourselves to work with absolute commitment in our branches to ensure the maximum votes to guarantee a very resounding victory in 2024. I want to repeat that we must go to the polls on December 7th, 2024 with our own referee. That referee will be our diligence, our alertedness, our preparedness, and winning the election emphatically, I insist. Our 2020 election comeback, raising the number of our seats from 106 to 137, and increasing our votes by almost 1.4 million votes, resulted from the dedication and hard work of all of us and the support of the people of Ghana. Ghanaians have seen the difference and believe in our message, which in 2020 was conveyed by our People's Manifesto. Comrades, we did not become the majority party in Parliament. We were also not declared the winners of the 2020 presidential elections because we left some loose ends untied in what was a bizarre election during the COVID restrictions and the economic meltdown of 2020. And that is why in 2024, we must rededicate ourselves to make our victory emphatic. As I've said before, we do not believe in going to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is going to be at the polling stations and the collation centers.
Whoa! Ajimpa!
As leader and flag bearer, I offer my firm pledge and assurance that I will work with the party's leadership, represented here today by the General Secretary, to build a formidable team and deploy strategies and mechanisms to ensure that we protect the votes of the teeming mass of Ghanaians who have determined to vote for us in 2024. These Ghanaians are yearning to be freed from the shackles of poverty and hardship that has been inflicted on them by the reckless and clueless Akufo-Addo administration.
Bahobium.
These Ghanaians are yearning to be freed from the shackles of poverty and hardship inflicted on them by the reckless and clueless Akufo-Addo.
Ayo! That's right.
Most Ghanaians are ready to work with us to build the Ghana we all want together.
You can hear his presentation now.
When I spoke at the commemoration of the 44th anniversary of the June 4 uprising in Hohoi last Sunday, I likened the 2024 elections to a peaceful and democratic revolution which will free our country and our people from the clutches of misrule, from a mediocre, reckless, and incompetent government.
From the hands of these tyrants.
What we are gathered here to do is a declaration of our intent
His Excellency,
by those of us here in the diaspora to join up with the broad masses of Ghanaians in the collective push to dislodge this administration through peaceful, free, and fair elections in 2024. This is an absolute national imperative, and we cannot and must not fail the people of Ghana. It has been 7 years of corruption, 7 years of waste, 7 years of arrogance, 7 years of impunity, and 7 years of nepotism, 7 years of abuse of office, 7 years of human rights violations.
Yes!
and worst of all, 7 years of economic mismanagement. Seven years of economic reckless management of the economy has rendered our people broken and struggling from one day to the other just to survive.
For those of you who are watching, you can
The Ghanaian economy is now classified amongst the worst managed in the world, and we're currently in the same basket as countries like Sri Lanka. Ghana, our beloved country. Ghana, Nkrumah's country.
Here in Amsterdam.
Inflation is at a record high, impacting the prices of essential goods and services and escalating an already severe cost of living crisis. Our currency, the Ghanaian cedi, has suffered one of its steepest declines in decades, and a few months ago was considered one of the worst performing currencies in the world. Businesses are stressed and are being pushed to the brink, with quite a number of them left with no choice but to either fold up or relocate to our neighboring countries. The Bank of Ghana has exacerbated the problem. It has blatantly breached its financial threshold by printing over 40 billion Ghana cedis to finance the government of Ghana's budget deficit.
Mafias.
In the last 2 years, we have suffered downgrade after downgrade to junk status by all the international credit rating agencies. And we're finally defaulted on our domestic and external debt repayments. The unilateral insensitive debt restructuring program has seen over 80 billion Ghana cedis lent by millions of Ghanaians to the government through the purchase of the government of Ghana bonds expropriated. This has caused severe dislocation in the livelihoods of many pensioners and middle-class Ghanaians, including persons in the diaspora. It has led to the depressing sight of aged pensioners picketing at the Ministry of Finance to demand their meager sums of money. Local businesses, especially contractors and other government service providers, are owed tens of billions of Ghana cedis, whose value continues to dwindle every day, following the government's inability or unwillingness to pay them. Government can also not meet all statutory payments, and many of the earmarked funds are in arrears. And by this I mean GET Fund, NHIL, and other such statutory funds. If you go to a hospital today in Ghana and you have an NHIL card, you don't get any service. Not even paracetamol you won't get from the hospital. Oh. Even the most fundamental obligation of a responsible government, such as providing textbooks to primary schools or ensuring proper and consistent feeding of basic and senior high school students, have become a daunting task. The net effect of all these harrowing development has been that Ghanaians are enduring economic suffering on an unprecedented scale in our history. I'm certain you are all too familiar with this precise narrative I've just given. For those of you in the diaspora on whom millions of your relatives and compatriots back home depend for sustenance through remittances, you must be all too familiar with this story. All this would have been entirely avoidable if this government heeded sound counsel from us in the opposition and other notable voices in civil society and academia at the right time. The deliberate concealment of the actual situation through creative accounting and under declaration of figures has combined with excessive and wasteful expenditure to hasten the inevitable catastrophe that we are witnessing today. Ultimately, too little was done too late, as our economy had so deteriorated that an IMF program could only be secured by accepting the harshest conditionalities possible. To obtain an IMF program, Ghanaians have had to pay a disproportionate price. Domestic bondholders have been given severe and painful head cuts, despite the assurance of the President Nana Akufo-Addo that there will be no haircuts. Atuforsen had said there were going to be steep haircuts, and the president responded, there will be no haircuts. Now today we know he was not speaking the truth. The consequences of these haircuts have been grave for the financial sector. The financial health of Ghanaian banks has eroded and will undermine the financial sector's performance with attendant job losses. Insurance companies and pension funds also invested in government bonds, and they are also bound to suffer, just as individuals who depend on pension payments for survival will also suffer. In addition to this already hostile economic environment, multiple taxes have been slapped on Ghanaians in the last 2 years alone. Over 23 other tax measures will make life even more unbearable for our people. Steep increases in cost of utilities are increasing the burden on businesses and individuals. And if you've been following, there was an increase of 29% in electricity bills, and just recently another 8.9% has been slacked up. Import duties and excise duties have shot through the roof. No wonder the Tema and Takrady ports have lost huge volumes of traffic, while Togo and Benin ports continue to be busy and receiving goods that should actually have come through Ghanaian ports. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the burning topics for discussion in Ghana today is the rate at which we are losing our professionals, trained at great expense to other countries, especially the medical field. You've heard about the migration of nurses abroad. I sympathize with the Ghanaian youth. Their feeling of despair and hopelessness is unprecedented in our history. They are now looking for the slightest opportunity to leave our shores in search of greener pastures, even risking their very lives to cross the Sahara and the Mediterranean. The question we should ask ourselves is, how will we work to bring back hope in Ghanaians in the face of these daily challenges? As the most viable alternative, we in the NDC have demonstrated the capacity to rise to the occasion by our record in government. In the past, we have reset our country's trajectory and returned it into an appreciable state of health. We have a duty to our country to lead the charge for change again and bring relief to the long-suffering people of Ghana.
Whoa, whoa.
Comrades, it will be presumptuous of us to think that this will come quickly, or that the abysmal depths to which the MPP has sunk governance guarantees us an automatic victory at the polls. We must first earn the trust of Ghanaians. A significant section of voters has grown skeptical and are wary of our democracy and its benefits because of their unmet expectations and the spectacular failure of this particular administration. And so when you go to Ghana today, you hear many people say, I don't vote, I don't even see the need to vote, because of the very abysmal failure of this government. It means that they believe that democracy is not working for them. I urge you all to remember that through our actions and the policy platforms, we must canvass, demonstrate the difference between our service in government and the nightmarish example that MPP has set in Ghana. We have been in power, and our record is there for all to see. We do not claim perfection, but we in NDC can never ever be like the MPP.
Whoa, whoa! Hey, Azu!
We simply cannot be compared with the MPP. And we are not as reckless and contemptuous of the people of Ghana as the MPP has been these last 7 years. We have never been and will not be as wasteful, ostentatious, and as imprudent as the MPP has been in power. We are committed to operating a lean government that avoids the MPP's extravagance and get the job done more efficiently with fewer people. Nothing in Ghana's political history compares the level of economic mismanagement that the MPP has superintended these last few years. The NDC believes in substantive offerings, carefully considered and curated to stand the test of time while comprehensively resolving some of our most complex challenges. We have no intention of taking the mandate of the people of Ghana for granted. We know we're going against an incumbent that has proven that it is prepared to shed the blood of its own citizens to hang on to power. And they amply demonstrated this at Ayawasu West Wagon by-election and the last 2020 elections, where 8 of our compatriots were killed. And then there is an electoral commission whose neutrality in this electoral contest is questionable. Our work is therefore cut out for us. We must get off our marks immediately and convince Ghanaians that we are prepared to govern in addition to our superior record than that of the MPP. The first step towards doing that is proving that we can manage our internal affairs, which is why this European conference is very significant. This conference offers a platform for us to share unique insights into better organizational strategies and innovative approaches to mobilizing the people of Ghana for a resounding victory in 2024.
Aiko! Aiko! Aiko!
So Aiko to all the organizers.
That's right.
And all the chapters who have gathered here from Europe.
That's right.
Thank you very much for what you've done. The NDC proudly values your contribution towards the running of the party and the brilliant perspectives you bring to the table on essential governance matters. And for those of you who are not here, we had a very fruitful meeting with the executives this morning. We briefed them on what was going on back home, and they also raised some of their concerns to us. The party also acknowledges your concerns about participation in elections and governance. Of particular concern to you have been the constitutional impediments to persons holding dual citizenship and the occupation of some positions in government in Ghana.
That's right. That's right.
Only a few weeks ago, we suffered what we considered grave injustice when our member of parliament for Asin North was thrown out of parliament by the Supreme Court on grounds that we find entirely unsatisfactory. I previously indicated that one of the things I will do when elected president in 2024 will be to fast-track the clarification of the constitutional provision on allegiance that bars our dual citizens from holding some offices in Ghana.
We are Suruku! We are Suruku! We are Suruku! We are Suruku! You are a chosen one, man.
On our speaker, Honorable Sumana Bagbin, and the Parliament of Ghana to do the needful so that Ghana can benefit fully from the expertise that our citizens have garnered during their sojourn abroad. Another matter which I know concerns you and on which I would like to offer some clarity concerning NDC's position is ROPA. We in the NDC have not been opposed to ROPA in principle. We have kicked against the potential of selective and inequitable implementation of ROPA that lends itself to exploitation by the incumbent party and to the unfair detriment of opposition parties. We have said, and that's the NDC's position, if ROPA is ever to be implemented, it should be